name is Elizabeth Schock. On February 12, 2008, I joined a group of volunteers and traveled to Albany to lobby our state legislators on behalf of the cause of fighting Alzheimer's disease. I read some brief remarks, which were extremely well received, and many people have asked for copies. Others have urged me to go to Washington to speak before congressmen and senators, but my health simply will not permit taking such a long trip. Instead, I am making this video recording in the profound hope that my bearing witness will be of service in the struggle against Alzheimer's. My bachelor's degree is from Vassar, and I hold 2 advanced degrees, both received with honors, a master's in education from Tufts and an MBA from the Pace University Executive MBA program. I had a wonderful career in the nonprofit world, for example, 5 years as director of education for the U.S. Committee for UNICEF. I also served 4 years as Director of Development and Alumni Relations at International House in Manhattan, a programmatic and residential center for potential global leaders. Alumni include Leontine Price, Daisy Impalsoros, I.M. Pei, and Tatsuro Toyota. In those days, I could speak in public, relying on just a few handwritten notes. But now, since my short-term memory has disappeared, I must read this message. I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in June of 2006. I told my husband that this was worse than cancer, which I've also had twice, and he and I still agree. Alzheimer's is an implacable disease that silently and relentlessly steals away your personality and your life as it progressively destroys your memory. My dream, of course, is that researchers who are working full speed ahead will find remedies in time to help me, but I am realistic enough to know that the odds are slim. So my great hope and why I make this appeal, sharing in this public fashion the emotional pain and suffering, the fear and deep sadness I constantly feel that a cure will be found, and found soon, in time to save our children and grandchildren from the scourge which is rapidly becoming a global epidemic. Alzheimer's will drain our societies worldwide of precious resources as millions of potentially productive citizens become unable to care for themselves. My husband and children have been incredibly loyal. I have often said to my husband that I could not live 1 minute without him, but that is no way for any human being to exist. I long for my lost freedom and my responsibility and wholeness as a mature adult. When I spoke to our elected representatives in Albany, I urged them with every ounce of my energy to pass legislation and secure funding to combat and indeed conquer this terrible disease. To those watching this video, I echo my appeal and ask you to help in whatever way you can. May the day come sooner when Alzheimer's disease will be, like polio, simply a subject for medical history books. I thank you for your attention.
My name is David Schock. I'm the husband and caregiver of Elizabeth Schock, whose extraordinary testimony you have just borne witness to. I cannot emphasize strongly enough the amazing courage it took her to do this and the tremendous strain it was on her physical and mental capacities. As she told you, she was diagnosed with this disease in June of 2006. We are now April of 2008, that is 2 years into the diagnosis. And yet she is still able to make this statement, to speak out to the public in the hope that her effort, her courage, her dignity, her willingness to share her pain, her loneliness, will persuade some of our legislative leaders to unlock the funds, will perhaps inspire some doctor, some scientist to look in a new way to uncover whatever the cause of this horrific disease is. But as of now, I am the caregiver for a woman of valor, a woman of extraordinary courage and dignity, and it has been an honor to be her husband for these 44 years, and I hope that we will have some more quality time together before the onslaught of this disease becomes irreparable. I know that the time will come when my wife will not even recognize me. I know that this is inevitable. She takes the best possible medication. She exercises. She does everything the current medical knowledge can do to help us. But that is not enough. We know that also. Unless through some miracle, a drug that can slow or even halt the progress of Alzheimer's is discovered. I'm sure that will come. The question is when. How can we persuade others to move in the directions that are needed? We are people who desire change and think that things will get better. It's very hard to be pessimistic, I think, in America. Even in 2008, where the economic difficulties that we all know of. Yet, when I think of Alzheimer's disease, and I think of the possibility that I could come down with it too. I'm 71, my wife is 66. I hope to be able to care for her as long as is humanly possible. If the two of us get this disease, then we will become wards of our children or wards of the state. And the state is going to be overburdened as this disease becomes an epidemic. All the statistics indicate something like 40% of the people over 85 are going to get this disease. So it is imperative that we struggle to find a cure. I wish, again, that I could be hopeful, but all I can say is if my wife's remarks, her moving and powerful remarks, have an impact on you, perhaps the words of a husband and caregiver can add a little, and it's up to you, my viewers, my listeners, as to whether you can help in the ways that you are capable of. And I thank you again so much for your attention.